So once a month, you'll get the website maintenance report from me. It actually comes from noreply@managewp.com. So you'll want to add at least that domain to the safe sender list of your email or to your address book. So you receive that every month. It doesn't go in your spam folder, or you can just check your spam folder. But just open up the report by clicking on this, and you'll see you get a nice cover sheet page with the website maintenance report and the dates that it's good for. So to go into it, there's first off a message right here that may have something in it. It may not. I can type a personal message if there's something I need to tell you about this report, something unique about it. Then it gets to an overview, and this just gives you a general overview of what's been done to the website. And green check is good. If it's a red X and something's wrong, there should not be anything wrong ever. So first up is the updates. This will tell you if first it'll tell you if WordPress has been updated, if there's been a release. That's not going to happen every month, but if it does happen, you'll see this is a minor release from 4.8 to 4.81. Then there's the plugins. WordPress is like the operating system. It's the basis to your whole website. Everything else is loaded on top of that. And the plugins, those are what gives it all the features. So like on your computer, you have the Windows or Mac operating system. It doesn't really do much on its own, but you have applications on top of that do all the cool stuff. You have Microsoft Word, so you can type documents. You have a web browser, so you can browse the internet, things like that. So that's like what plugins are. For instance, WordFence security, that's real-time scanning of your website. As users visitors come to your website, it's going to scan them to make sure their IP address or their computer hasn't been reported as a bad computer that shouldn't, that could be doing something bad to your website. Yoast SEO gives you control of things like the title of your website pages or the descriptions. So this just will tell you what has been updated. And you can see plugins on here multiple times because Yoast has been updated multiple times. So you'll see from what version to what version. Also, this is one you may not see all the time, is the theme. But themes need to be updated too. They can be a security risk if they're not. New features are released, bugs are fixed, so this will show if your theme has been updated on any given time frame. Next up is optimization. So if you run a blog, there's going to be a lot more in the optimization section. If it's just your website, then you're not going to have these spam comments. You will have the database that will clean out, the system will clean it out, maintain it, make sure it doesn't get too too bloated with information, slows your website down. Post revisions, if you are blogging, then WordPress creates a revision each time you make an update to anything. Those can add up and slow your website down. If you're not blogging, then you're not going to have post revisions. You might not even see that section. Next up is backups. So backups run daily on your website. So you'll have, give you a total number of restore points. So every day that the backup is made is a restore point. So you can, restore your website from any number of days that they're a restore point. And then it'll give you a little, snapshot of what your website looks like, at the time of that backup. So next is analytics. This is probably one of the most important parts because it's going to tell you how many people visited your website. Those are site sessions. So if I visit your website, then it's going to create a site session. Page views, number of pages I viewed on your site. So I viewed it one time, but looked at 3 pages. I could view your website a second time. Maybe one day I view it and then I come back the next day and view it. That's going to count as a new site session, and however many page views I look at. and then it'll also give you an average of the number of pages viewed. And then this is a percentage of new sessions, so new people coming to my website. It's actually decreased slightly, so more people that have visited my website are visiting it again than new visitors. And then refers tells you where people are coming from. Google's my number one referrer, but direct is number two. Direct just means that Google Analytics can't tell where the person's coming from. They could have come from Google, they could have come from another website, it's just they can't detect it for whatever reason, and it lumps it up into the direct refer. Keywords, you're not usually going to see people in there. You're not actually going to see a lot of keywords in there often because Google is secure. It can't really it can't track the keywords. It doesn't track people individually, just by computer, very generic. So you will see very few keywords, if any. And then as far as pages, you can look at what your most popular pages are, what gets the most views, what's doing the best for you, and then of course what country they're coming from. And then this is just a graph, a visual form of what your website looks like, and it's kind of overlaid over the previous period. You can kind of see mine as this is during the week and then the weekend, during the week and then on the weekend. My website's very slow on weekends, whereas on the weekdays it's very busy. So then you can see the average time on the site, so how long people stayed on your website, the number of organic searches. Bounce rate is if somebody comes to your website, only views one page, then that's a bounce. They got what they needed, they bounced off your website. You want as low as possible as a bounce rate as you can, but realistically a 70 to 80% or even 70 to 90% is perfectly normal for a bounce rate. But of course, every website's unique, and yours, depending on the content and the purpose, is going to differentiate from that. Security is the next section. So every day, security is your website scanned to make sure it's clean and doesn't show up on any blacklists on the internet. That means that websites will block, like a browser might block access to a website, or it might show up in Google saying, hey, this website's been hacked if you're on if your website's vulnerable. This makes sure it's clean and good. So and that'll tell you how many scans have been done in the past month. Next up is performance. So performance checks are run every day to make sure your website's working fast, the server is responding good. So it'll give you a page speed grade. A is great. Anywhere in the A or B range is pretty good. And then you'll see a Y slow grade. That generally is much lower than the page speed, and that's okay. It really depends on the content of your site. If you have a YouTube video embedded on your page, then you're going to get a slower Y slow grade. It's just the way it works. You have to balance between content and speed. A website without the content that you need on there is no good. So the most important aspect of this, though, is the page load time. You just want to make sure the page is loading fast. So 2 seconds is great, 3 is great, 3 to 5 is okay. Anywhere above 5, then if it's consistently above 5, then it's a little bit concerning, but if you get 1 score for 5 seconds, not usually a big deal. So then SEO is the next section, and this will rate how visible you are and kind of rate you against competitors, how well you're doing. And then it'll give you a breakdown for all the keywords that you're tracking. And then these are words that you've come up with that you wanted me to track, and every week it'll check how you rank on those keywords. So if you do want me to track any additional keywords, just send me an email, let me know, and I can add them to your tracking list. And then it'll tell you what your rank is right now and what it used to be. So anything with a green circle is good. That means you've increased in rank. Anything with a red circle means you've gone down a little bit or a lot, and that's bad. but is generally, it's going to happen. Rankings always kind of go up and down. As long as you're not just consistently moving down, then it's not usually a problem. Ones without a circle at all, you stayed the same. Nothing happened, good or bad. And then, it'll go along that for all the things that you rank for. Anything that you don't rank for, it'll just show as unranked. Those aren't always accurate, though. For Exprance, it wants to autocorrect to experience, so that's why it says unranked. If you actually correct it to Exprance, then I'm number 1. So that's it for the website maintenance report. You'll get this once a month in your inbox, and if you ever need help or questions with anything or a concern with it, just email me. I'm always available to answer any questions on your report. Now that you've checked out an Exprance video to help you expand your small business online presence, be sure to subscribe so you can watch more videos as they come out. Or you can check out the ebook that will help you grow your email list without even having a website in case you don't have one. Or you could check out another video.